Hey, Cowboys Nation, can you feel it? That sweet taste of victory after such a tough season. Thanksgiving wasn't just about turkey this year, it was about breaking that 6-game home losing streak with a solid win over the New York Giants. It's crazy, right? Despite all the ups and downs, the injuries, and, let's be honest, some frustrating performances, the Cowboys are still hanging in there. We're just 2 games away from a wild card spot. Now, think about this. 2 games. That's all it could take to change the course of the season. With matchups against the Bengals and Panthers coming up, there's a real chance to keep this momentum going. Both are winnable games, and if we take care of business, who knows? The NFC playoff picture could get really interesting. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's savor this victory a bit longer. It's been a season full of challenges, but wins like this remind us why we stick with this team through thick and thin. By the way, what was your favorite moment from the game? Was it the way the defense held strong? Maybe it was Rico Dowdle finally hitting that 100-yard mark. Share your thoughts in the comments. Oh, and before we dive deeper into the things we've learned from this win, let me remind you to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Every subscription helps us get closer to our goal of 12,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to us. Let's talk about one name that stood out in this game, Micah Parsons. You know, there's a reason this guy is considered one of the best defenders in the league, and he reminded everyone of that against the Giants. Since coming back from his high ankle sprain, Parsons has been a force of nature. Over the last 4 games, he's racked up 5.5 sacks and 21 pressures. Can you believe that? Against the Giants alone, he had 1.5 sacks and 6 pressures. It's not just the stats that make him special, it's how he changes the entire feel of the game. When Parsons is on fire, he lifts the whole defense. Opposing quarterbacks start panicking, and that gives our offense a chance to breathe, especially with all the challenges they've faced this season. Let me ask you, do you think Parsons is the MVP of this team? Drop your vote in the comments below, and let's see where everyone stands. And here's something to get excited about. With other key players returning from injuries, this defense might just become the biggest headache for opposing teams as we close out the season. Imagine the impact a fully healthy Parsons can have paired with a solid supporting cast. It's the kind of spark we need right now. Speaking of sparks, if you're as pumped as I am about what Micah Parsons brings to this team, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're building something great here for Cowboys fans like you, and your support keeps it going. Don't forget to share this video with other fans who love talking Cowboys football as much as we do. Now, Parsons isn't the only one stepping up. Let's shift gears and talk about a couple of other guys who are starting to make a real name for themselves. Alright, let's give credit where it's due. Moy Smith and Rico Dowdle are making waves. These guys are proving that when opportunity knocks, they know how to answer. Let's start with Smith. Over the last few weeks, his consistency has been improving, and honestly, that's been a game changer for the defense. Did you see his PFF grades recently? They've been climbing steadily. 55.9, 69.6, and then a huge jump to 79.9 against the Giants. Smith showed up big with a run defense grade of 77.6. This is huge for a player who's been criticized in the past for struggling to shed blocks. Now, he's holding his ground and even pushing quarterbacks off their spots. It's exactly the kind of growth we've been hoping for. It's making a real difference in how the defense operates. And then there's Rico Dowdle. This guy stepped up in a big way on Thanksgiving. His 112 yards on 20 carries marked the first time in 26 games that a Cowboys running back hit the century mark. Can you believe that? Dowdle has quietly racked up 600 yards this season, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. That kind of efficiency doesn't just happen, it's the result of hard work and determination. Here's something to think about. Do you believe Smith and Dowdle have what it takes to keep this momentum going? Let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, cast your vote. Who has been the bigger surprise this season, Smith or Dowdle? One thing's for sure, these two are giving us a lot of hope as we head into these crucial games. If you're excited to see what they'll do next, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We're so close to our goal of 12,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can get there. Now, while it's great to see these players stepping up, the season hasn't been without its setbacks. Let's talk about the injuries that have challenged this team and what it means for the road ahead. Cowboys Nation, let's talk about the tough part of football, the injuries. As much as the win against the Giants lifted our spirits, it came at a price. 2 key players on defense, Josh Butler and Juan Thomas, went down, adding to what's already been a brutal season for injuries. Let's start with Josh Butler. He's been stepping up big time, especially after his breakout performance against the Commanders just days before. Sadly, his season is over after suffering a torn ACL in the first half against the Giants. Losing Butler is a blow to the depth of our secondary, and it puts even more pressure on guys like Israel Mukuamu to step up. Then there's Juan Thomas. Watching him get carted off the field was tough, but thankfully, the news isn't as bad as it could have been. He's dealing with a meniscus injury and might only miss a few weeks. That gives us hope he could be back before the season ends, which would be huge for both the defense and special teams. These injuries come at a critical time with key matchups on the horizon. The defense has been fighting through adversity all season, and now it's time for others to rise to the occasion. What do you think? Can this team overcome these setbacks and keep their playoff hopes alive? Share your thoughts in the comments and let's get a conversation going. By the way, if you appreciate how this team fights through every challenge, show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Every subscription helps us reach more fans like you. We're so close to hitting 12,000 subscribers. Now, while we're facing challenges, the future still holds plenty of promise. Let's dive into the exciting potential of next year's draft and what it could mean for the Cowboys. Alright, Cowboys Nation, let's shift gears for a moment and look ahead. We all know the 2024 draft is coming up fast as we eye the final stretch of the season. It's hard not to think about how the Cowboys can improve for the future. There's a lot of talk about the running back position, and with good reason the backfield has been one of the weakest spots this year. Now, picture this, a young, dynamic running back to boost the offense. One name that's been buzzing around is Boise State's Jhonson. This guy has been on the radar for a while now, and his skill set could be exactly what the Cowboys need to give the running game a much-needed spark. He's explosive, has excellent vision, and could bring a level of playmaking that's been missing. But, and here's the kicker, Jhonson's recent comments about wanting to play for the Kansas City Chiefs have thrown a wrench in things. He mentioned that pairing up with Patrick Mahomes would give him a chance at Super Bowls, and let's be real, the Chiefs have been one of the best teams in the league for a while now. While Cowboys fans may feel a little disappointed hearing that, Jhonson's fantasy scenario isn't all that surprising, but here's the question, could the Cowboys actually have a shot at drafting him? With our current draft position, it's looking like we might be in the range to land him, but it's not a done deal. Would you like to see the Cowboys draft Jhonson, or do you think we should go in a different direction? Cast your vote in the comments. And before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We've got so much more to discuss as we approach the end of the season, and your support is crucial in helping us keep this channel growing. Together, we're building something special for Cowboys fans. Now, with all this draft talk, let's take a moment to reflect on what it would take for the Cowboys to truly contend in the future, and what key moves we might need to make this offseason. As we wrap up this discussion, let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture. The future of the Cowboys is full of possibilities, but there are still some key pieces that need to fall into place. With the draft looming and offseason decisions to be made, it's clear that this team isn't far off from being a real contender, but it all depends on the moves that get made. First, let's talk about coaching. Mike McCarthy's future is still uncertain, and while he's had his share of ups and downs, you can't ignore the potential for growth in this team with the right leadership. A lot of fans have been vocal about wanting changes, especially if things don't go as planned this season. Do you think McCarthy is the right guy for the job, or is it time for a change? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get a conversation going about what this team needs at the top to really reach its full potential. Then there's the roster. The Cowboys have a lot of talented players, but they need to make smart decisions to bolster the offensive line, improve the running back situation, and keep building that defense. If the right moves are made, this team could be in serious Super Bowl contention sooner rather than later. But it all comes down to making the right choices. And one more thing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to our goal of 12,000 subscribers, and your support helps us get closer every day. If you're excited about the future of this team and want to stay updated, make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content. With everything we've discussed today, the victories, the injuries, the draft prospects, and the tough decisions ahead, it's clear that this season is far from over. There's still hope for the playoffs, and even if things don't go as planned, we're heading into a crucial offseason with a lot of promise. Let's continue to support this team through thick and thin, because no matter what happens, we're all part of Cowboys Nation.